What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk about false documents, falsified documents, etc., etc. And the reason why I bring this up is lately you see a lot of people come and they say, look, I have a document and this proves what I'm saying is real because I have a document, and document this, and document that. And I'm like, okay, you got a document, big fucking deal, you get a piece of paper. Now, where that piece of paper comes from and whether or not it can be approved or proven that it's real is a whole other thing. So let me back up. I this is a Bios3 story time, and I worked for a major gym chain, a very big gym chain, a worldwide well-known gym chain. And I was the boss. I ran it. I made sure everybody did what they had to do. I feel like I treated my employees very fairly. And this gym chain had a big money thing. It was about money. It wasn't about memberships helping people, making, money for the people that work. It was about the gym making money in the company as a whole, which fine. It's a corporate business. That's how it works. But they had sayings like, find the money. You have till 5 o'clock tonight, find the money. You need to get this much in, find it or you're fired. They'd say shit like that straight out. Of course, they never fired anybody. Or, this was the best one. I had one of the top dogs come down who barely ever stepped foot in a gym in his entire life. Worked for some head honcho company that was like a construction company or a developing company or something. And he comes in and he says, they get you pumped up. They're like, just because you can't write a check for a certain amount because you don't have the money in the bank doesn't mean that person sitting across from you can't. And this was their type of attitude. I even watched one of my managers con a girl out of her Christmas money. She was sitting there and she said, I need this money for the day, for my total, so I'm going to go get it from this girl. And she was like a shark. So she went out and she said, you're going to get money for Christmas, right? And the young girl says, yeah. She says, well, why don't you just put your membership and your personal training on the credit card for yourself, buy this for yourself for Christmas, and then take the money that you get for Christmas from presents and put it back on your credit card, and then you have what you really want, which was personal training. I just about fell over in my chair when I heard her talking about this. She had already spent that girl's Christmas money before she even got it. She just didn't care. Now, me being the way that I was and the way that I am, that didn't really float with me. Although it was a job, it was a corporate job. It was all about making the money, making it happen, and it didn't matter how it happened. There's still that little part of me there that just doesn't agree with some things. So I had this trainer that came with me from one gym to the other, and we switched gyms, a few of us. I had, excuse me, I'm just getting over a flu. I had an assistant manager come with me, who is my right-hand man, and another guy who was a sales guy who wanted to be a trainer. Now, the guy had the experience, he had the physique, he had the sales ability to sell himself as a trainer. He had everything that a good trainer can need. But he wasn't a good salesperson because he didn't like the high-pressure sales that was going on in the sales department, the do-or-die attitude. So he came to me and said, look, I want to be a trainer. Here, what do I have to do? And I said, you got to have a certificate. You got to have a certified, be a certified trainer through some kind of certification process, and this is the one that the gym takes. You need to have this one. Now, to do that, you need to buy all the materials, study them, take like a pre-entrance exam, then take the exam. It takes about 6 months to get this done. He wasn't going to last there 6 months, and this company could not afford to lose this guy. I wanted him on my team, and he was a good guy. He had bills to pay. He had shit he had to do. He was in a tight spot. So what did I do? I said, you didn't hear it from me, but I'm the only one that checks these certificates and authenticates the certificates. So all you have to do is get me a certificate and you're in. So now he was like, well, how the hell do I do that? I said, well, my buddy over here, he can help you do that. You talk to him, I bet you he can figure out how to help you get a certificate. So, well, the scheme that they concocted up was they took a certificate from a national certification. They basically scanned it, whited out the name, printed his name on it, rescanned it, and boom, he had a certification. That was enough for this gym to be satisfied that he was a trainer. Period. It took about, I don't know, it took less than like 10 minutes to make this thing perfect. Okay? This is many years ago, so I don't even remember what certification it was, etc. But it was done very quickly, and it looked exactly like the other ones that I had in my desk. Exact. And he was now a personal trainer. Done. He now has gone on to be a very successful personal trainer in D.C. with a packed schedule as of now. Okay? Daily. Doing his thing, making a living, loving life. Now, if he didn't have that opportunity that we gave him, he might have never been able to do that. Because some people just can't take 6 months, study, and then go fly somewhere or drive somewhere to take the exam. Some people don't have that availability. But we knew that we could help him. We did, and before that, he's got a better life. But the basis of this whole video is anybody can make any kind of certificate or authenticity certificate online very quickly. And it's exact. Almost exact. There are certain things about the fakes that are not exactly like the real ones. So, my advice, it's just like counterfeit steroids. If you see the real steroid and the counterfeit together, you can tell them apart. You can tell which one's fake and which one's real. If you don't see them together, if you have them apart, it's almost impossible to tell. So if you are a personal training fitness manager at a gym somewhere, or you're just a gym manager in general, and you're having to check these certifications, some of them may not even be real. Some of them, they may be faked. Some of them may be made on a computer, scanned, whatever. There's a possibility you got a few people working there that are not even certified. But if they're a great trainer and they get great results and everybody's happy, that piece of paper didn't mean shit in the first place. This guy went on to be a very successful trainer and knew more than that fucking certification could teach him. But that would have held him back if we held him to that standard. That standard. Which half the trainers that were there were fucking idiots anyways. And sucked and couldn't train their way out of a wet paper bag and get people injured and all kinds of stuff. But they had good certifications. Makes you think, right? Bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bios3training.com is the blog, and we're the certification bicep. We're out.